This is going to be a hard one for me because I love this country. I love the fact I was born in England, and I think we do a lot of things really well. Like, we do like the NHS, for example. I wouldn't change it for anything, but there definitely are things that about the American way of life and the American system that I wish we did here. I wish that the spirit of like entrepreneurship, that can do attitude was over here like it is in America. I wish that it was over here. I wish that people were encouraged like they are in America over here. And there's other things as well, but you know, equally, I'm gonna be like, oh man, hearing England sort of like being dunked on like this.
There's people right now are like, but it's fun. Welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm an American who's lived in the UK for almost 10 years, and today I am sharing with you the things that America does better than the UK. Now, before you come for me in the comments, know that I did a video first on the things that the UK does better than the US, so if you are not interested in things that the US does better than the UK, just watch that video and it's all gonna be fine.
And I think, you should be able to watch a video like this if you're from the UK and be like, okay, yeah, they do that better. Like people that get like really angry and salty because they feel like someone's talking bad about their country. Like, I mean, is it that big a deal?
But for those of you who are here for a little bit of a lighthearted video on things I find are better in the US than in the UK, keep watching. And today's question might be a challenge for some of my British audience, but I want you to comment below and tell me your favorite thing about the US. Now, I know for many of you, you don't live there. Maybe you visited there. Maybe it's just something that you think is good about the US. I know there are lots of things that you can tell me in the comments are not good and you don't like, and that's fine. But in this video, challenge yourself to post just one thing that is positive about the US, and it cannot be that you do not live there. Okay, so the first thing I have on my list relates to school spirit, and I'm not even gonna
School spirit. What does she mean by this?
get into like patriotism yet. That's a whole nother video. I'm just talking literally about the pride for your school, and I know British people right now are like, but
okay.
It's fun.
Like being an alumnus, things like that.
From the age of like 5, when you go to elementary school, to
Wow, this photo is super pixelated, isn't it? You can barely see the faces.
to graduating high school, to going to college, we have this sense of pride in our school. So I think a lot of people think about this more in terms of college or university. So Americans are obsessed with where our alma mater is. It's a huge thing. You always like follow the school, maybe in sports. And for the most part, we we're very proud of where we went. Whereas in the UK, I've not experienced anyone talking about anything like that, unless maybe they went to Oxford or Cambridge, and then it just comes across as annoying. So totally different kind of attitudes towards school spirit. But I wanted to also take it back to what we would call elementary school and what they would have as primary here. Like my elementary school had a song, like we had a song that we sung because it was like our school song.
Is that normal in America, like in elementary school, for there to be like an anthem for the school that everybody sings together? I've never experienced that in the UK in any of the schools I've been at. I don't think it's a thing over here.
I still remember it. Would you like me to sing it for you? Because I will. Okay. We're Keith Elementary, we're strong and we're proud. We sing it with spirit, we sing it out loud. Oh yes, we've got something special to tell you about. Our school is the greatest and there is no doubt. Oh yes, we've got what it takes to climb up to the top. And how like hand motions. Our teachers all say we're the cream of the crop. From the little cougar cubs to the big cougar cats. Did we say just don't get better than that? I don't think so. Maybe it doesn't get better than that. And then you clap at the end.
You know what? The fact that she remembers it after all those years, I'm impressed, to be fair.
Anyway, I know most of you are horrified right now, but this is what I'm talking about. I asked my husband if his primary school had a theme song, and apparently they didn't. So,
Wow.
school spirit in the US is definitely much better than in the UK, as evidenced by my concert I just blessed you with. And don't even get me started on pep rallies in high school. I was not like a pep rally going person.
What's a pep rally? I have no idea. So they're in the kind of auditorium. Like, is it to do with the sports teams?
Necessarily, but they do exist. They are real. High schools have them. It's all about school spirit. And it's just something that doesn't happen here, and I feel like they would find cringy. Okay, so the next thing I have on my list that we do better in America than here in the UK has to do with the price of eating out. So
Oh, this is a big one. But going back to the one she just said, like, she's actually right. Apart from if you've gone to like one of the two elite universities, Oxford or Cambridge, you don't see college students wearing the jumpers, the sweaters with the name of the uni on them. You don't see that here. Whereas in America, it's really common to see people wearing like, I don't know, Georgia Tech or Texas A&M sweaters. You don't really see that here at all.
the UK wins by a landslide on the cost of buying food in a grocery store or supermarket, but I find going out to eat in the US is less expensive than going out to eat here in the UK, kind of across the board. And obviously, if you're comparing like New York and London, you're gonna have different results maybe, but just overall, like going out to eat in the suburbs of a place in America versus a place in the US, usually I think you get more for your money and just cheaper prices overall when it comes to the US. Okay, so the next thing on my list that...
Yeah, I mean, would I agree with that? Maybe. When I went to Dallas this year, I wouldn't say it was much cheaper than going out in London. And we didn't have to tip. I don't know. Maybe we're going to the wrong places. Maybe that's why.
They do better in the US than here in the UK is this idea of one-stop shopping. This is becoming more popular, and it is more popular further outside of cities where there is more room for larger stores, but I still have not found anything that compares to a super Target shopping experience where you could literally purchase like your entire week's grocery shopping. You could buy new clothes, you could buy a camera, you could buy a water bottle, you could buy some books. Like, you can buy everything in that store that you need. You don't even need to go anywhere else. And again, there are more and more stores that are kind of coming towards this way, but the shopping experience in them, they tend to feel a bit like warehousey as opposed to a Target, which is usually like gleaming and bright and just, you want to spend hours in there. I'm not sure I've ever found a one-stop shopping place in the UK that I want to like stay in. And
she's right. They don't exist over here. Like, the closest we have to that is like a Costco, but it's like a warehouse, like she said. It's not really like somewhere that's like quite nice and posh. Nah, we don't have them. It's probably a space thing.
And I get distracted by things I haven't found that same shopping experience. So I am going to say, I know British people are like, Americans always talk about Target. That's all you talk about. My husband is like, can a nation really be so obsessed with one store? And I'm like, absolutely. Yes, we can. And the other thing to mention is that, like, yes, you could go into an Asda, and often like in a bigger one, they will have clothes and food and books and things like that. But I would say that in general, like, maybe people aren't like interested in the Asda brand in terms of their clothes and things like that. It's more of for like basics, whereas a super Target has food and clothes with like pretty like well-known brands or brands that have partnered up with different like well-known designers. And
so in Target, can you go in and buy like Nike trainers, like sneakers, or a Lacoste polo shirt or something like that? So you can get different kind of brands of clothing and footwear within a Target. Wow, if that's the case, that's really interesting. Here, an Asda or a Tesco, if they sell clothes, it is just their brand of clothes. Like, Like, you will not find another brand of clothing in there.
People actually might choose to go to Target to shop for clothes, whereas I'm not sure many people necessarily choose to go to Asda for whatever brands they have in their clothes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the next thing on my list that the US does better than the UK is optimism. Now, I've heard from many British people that they feel this is fake, naive optimism and is pretty annoying. British people as a whole, as a culture, tend to fall down the more realistic route, whereas Americans, we tend to fall down the I don't care what I'm up against, I'm still going to believe that this thing can happen.
Which I love. I love that. Honestly, I love that attitude that a lot of Americans have. That, like, I can do it, it's possible, I'm going to make it happen. I love it, honestly. Like, here, we really don't have a lot of that. And anybody that has that or shows that, it's like, if you stick out like a nail, you get hammered. It's almost discouraged. Like, here, everybody's kind of encouraged to be like the same in a way. It's hard to describe.
And I have definitely gotten into discussions with people in the comments about this trait of Americans or American culture. And I truly feel that it's still a better way to have grown up and is something that I like to take into my personal life now. And yes, I do understand that not everything is possible, but believing that it is just a more fun way to go through life than believing that it isn't. And the more I talk to people here and the experience they've had in school and, you know, with their parents and things, I think in general in the US, we really do support people who want to go off and do different things. Whereas in the UK, it definitely seems like you're met with a bit of like
Resistance.
Hesitation. Oh, is that really going to work? Or, oh, that's not going to work. Whereas in the US, we're like, oh my God, you're going to start a business where all you do is make purple shark-shaped hats. And we're like, that's amazing. Go for it. Do it. I'm excited. I'm going to share your link with all my friends. So we just have this kind of optimism towards things that I think is better than in the UK.
And I think that is why America is where it is now in terms of the economic powerhouse of the country. Like, you know, you've got all these people who are entrepreneurial, the American dream, you know, like that is what America is built on. You know, the people that take chances. And obviously, it's like she said, it's not always going to work, but I would much rather, you know, have an attitude where it's going to work and try it than never try it. I love the American optimism. I love it.
Okay, the next thing America does better than the UK, hands down, not a question, is Halloween. We are obsessed with Halloween.
It's true.
It's like the second biggest holiday of the year besides Christmas. For some people,
really? Is Halloween bigger than Thanksgiving in America? No way.
It's even bigger than Christmas. From everything to like how we do haunted houses, to the effort people go to in their costumes, to the fact that, you know, all ages are out trick-or-treating when it comes to kids. So like teenagers are perfectly, you know, able to trick-or-treat and have fun. Here in the UK, I've definitely gotten the sense that this is definitely an Americanized concept that has come over and some people are begrudgingly going along with it, but it still seems like a younger kids sort of activity that they see it as, and not like everybody getting involved in Halloween. You will see some pretty good decorations depending on what neighborhood you are, but not like the over-the-top full-scale decorations that we do in America. So again, I am happy as an American to have a little bit of Halloween spirit coming to the UK. I don't know how you Brits feel about it, but in general, America still wins on the topic of Halloween.
It's such an interesting one. My job, right? So I manage like a lot of properties in West London, and one road in particular, a lot of Americans have moved in to that road. And on Halloween, it was so easy to spot which houses Americans lived in, because the outside of the house would have like a massive fake spider, cobwebs, a scary witch. Like, it was just so fun to walk down. Like, I didn't realize Halloween was such a big thing in America. I thought it was just kids going trick or treating. Like, when she says it's the second most popular holiday, so Halloween is more popular than Thanksgiving in America. That can't be true. Surely not.
So the next thing I think America does better than the UK has to do with the entire process related to home buying and selling. So there are two components to this, and I am only going to talk about the US versus England actually in this one, because I know it is different in other parts of the UK. So in England, the house purchasing process is the most annoying thing that has ever graced the history of everything.
It is horrible. It is awful. It can take you a year to purchase a house here. It is the most lengthy, complicated, convoluted cash grab in the world. It is an awful. I'm not exaggerating.
Basically, nothing is really secure until you're really far down the line, and people can pull out of the sale and of the deal
at any time,
really like up to the last minute, which is terrifying because you have a whole chains break because someone pulls out on the like,
and then you've spent thousands and thousands and thousands with nothing to show for it unless you pay for insurance.
It can just go on for months and months and isn't very certain. In the US, we do have a bit more restrictions on, that kind of thing isn't happening. You are going to have only a short time to get to that contract and to finish up the sale. You can't just like wait and extend things for months on end, and then on the day of exchange, someone pulls out. So from a practical perspective, I think the US does it better. I would also say the actual like house purchasing experience is a lot more fun in the US based on how we present it. So again, don't come for me in the comments. I'm not saying American houses are better than UK houses in this video. I am just saying, if you look on Zillow.com, this is not sponsored, but I do love Zillow. That's the American version of Rightmove or Zoopla for you Brits out there. And just the way the whole site looks is so enticing. It's just like a whole different kind of aspirational experience than going on something like Rightmove. The pictures, people stage their homes. And in the UK, someone did tell me that there are strict laws about like presenting your house accurately, which I would say they do in the US, in terms of like they're I feel like you're allowed to stage a home in the UK too. People just don't as much. But yeah, so on something like Zillow and the way the real estate market works in the US, you're often just going to be seeing like these really aspirationally decorated insides of homes where even though the home that you get is not going to have any of that stuff in it, you're still like, oh my God, that's my perfect home. Where I feel like in the UK, the estate agent, as they call them here, has just like gone into someone's messy bedroom and taken a picture a lot of the times.
That is improving. I think people are getting smarter. They'll tidy up the house and make it look good for the photos. But she's right. On Zillow, when I went on Zillow for the first time, I was thinking to myself, like, every house looks amazing. All these houses look so good, so clean, so bright. They look big.
You kind of have to like erase the stuff in your mind for the wrong reason when you're looking on something like Rightmove. And so again, and this kind of relates to what I was saying before, Americans are over the top and optimistic and aspirational, and the Brits are like, here's what the house looks like. Yes, someone's currently living here. No, they didn't have time to clean up. This is the bedroom. Like, what more do you want? We're in the US. We're like, hide everything that shows that someone is actually living here. We want this to look like a show home and like an IKEA thing. And you can just, it's just a different experience. And I definitely think overall the US house buying and selling experience is better than in the UK.
Do you know what I think? I think because properties here, because it's such a small country and properties, if it's priced properly, will sell really quick. They kind of get lazy. They don't have to like stage photos and make it look as nice as possible because they know someone's going to buy it regardless. Whereas America, because it's so big, there's more houses for sale. I think people have to like present the house as good as it can possibly be to get a buyer. What do you think of that? Do you reckon there's any truth to that?
The last thing on my list that the US does better than the UK is Mexican food. Whether it's Mexican food or Tex-Mex, whether it's guacamole or tortillas or tacos or quesadillas or chimichangas or chalupas or tacos. Did I mention tacos? The US just does so much better than the UK. The UK
It's
does
true.
have some winning cuisine in other areas. So, but I'm just comparing and saying in one cuisine, which is Mexican food, the US does much better.
For sure. England beats America, I think, with Indian food. I think the Indian food you can get in England is probably better than the ones, at least from my experience. But then the Mexican food in America is just light years ahead of the English variety. We don't really have many Mexican chains. We've got what we got? We've got Tortilla. There's a chain called Tortilla, and that's it. There's Chipotle. There's the Chipotle as well, but the Chipotle here isn't as good as the Chipotle in America. There's less options.
Kind of for obvious reasons, it's a bit easier for us to have those influences. And I haven't necessarily found a Mexican food, a Mexican restaurant in the UK that really matches what I'm used to in the US. So if anybody has any great recommendations of where to find good Mexican food in the UK, definitely comment below. It is becoming more popular as a cuisine, but I still find Brits in general are just not as up to date or clued into Mexican cuisine as in the US, and the differences between, like, I had to teach my husband like the difference between a quesadilla and a burrito and a taco and a this and a that, and that's kind of more common knowledge in the US.
Is it? Wow. All I know the difference is between a taco or a taco, as Americans pronounce it, and a tortilla. A tortilla, oh my God. No, actually, I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference between any of them. Can someone teach me?
And it seems to be in the UK. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the video. Again, comment something down below positive about the US. What
Fun video. She's right about all of them. I can't disagree or find fault with anything she said. America just does some things better. You know, it's just a fact. I think we do a few things better, and you guys do a few things better. I think you're always going to have countries that have certain strengths and weaknesses, aren't you? And yeah, I think when it comes to food, optimism for sure, can-do attitude, size of homes, yeah, taxes. I think America just does it better. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.